morning everyone, it's Brett here, Line Art 84, and as you can see, it's Sunday the 15th of March, and as you can see I'm sitting outside on a fairly cool, breezy day, but it's not too unpleasant, so I thought I'd try and get a couple of videos done. Guavas. Okay, so I think a couple of weeks ago I did a short video on my largest guava, which is now small guava because I've cut it back, to see if I could save the plant because it was suffering from bad dieback. Now, basically when you're looking at most tropical fruits, growing them out of zone, i.e. in a country like this one you have to bring them indoors, unlike their own country, there's really three main issues here with things like guavas, and that's what's happened to this one. There's three things that normally cause their demise: extreme cold, disease, and most likely root rot, which will either the roots will actually rot because they've got waterlogged, or they suffocate because they're waterlogged and the soils become compacted around them, and they're the three main killers here. Obviously in their own climate they could die from drought. Now, one of the problems with guavas is they are very thirsty plants. They do like a lot of water when they're in containers when they're growing, but you have to be very careful because when they get very dormant here for long periods of time because of our low light levels and cold temperatures. Even when you bring them indoors, they tend to go through a spell of dormancy, and it's all too easy to get a plant waterlogged like I have on mine, or I think there's a problem on mine. And basically the plant just gradually dies back because there's no water actually getting up to the shoots because the roots have got a problem. That's probably the case with mine. I mean, the thing is these problems do go hand in hand with each other, because obviously the cold weather causes the plant to go dormant, and obviously if it's dormant, the roots aren't taking up water, and if the roots are then sitting in water, you get root rot, and obviously a weakened plant is going to be prone to disease as well. They're less likely to be killed by pests, to be honest, over here. I mean, unless you had a massive infestation, all that normally happens with pests on a plant is it just weakens a bit and you get some distorted or stunted growth, but normally with the appropriate spraying it sorts them out. But I cut the guava back and stopped watering it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been putting it outside a fair bit as well on days when it's mild, because I felt the dry atmosphere in the house wasn't helping it. But at present there seems to be no progress on changing the plant at all, so I'm just going to stop the video and show you, and then tell you what I plan to do today. So here we are. As you can see, if you saw the video a couple of weeks ago, it's a very sad state of affairs. The branches were suffering a lot of dieback, and I cut them back to what appeared to be green growth. And in fact, I'd noticed at the time I cut it back that there were still signs of green buds on the stems, and I was hoping by cutting it back that it might encourage it to grow a little bit. And if we come right down here again, you can probably see there's little bits of green. However, nothing more has happened. And when you perform a little scratch test on the trunk, probably won't be able to see, let me just scrape that. Yeah, can't see very easy. Oh yeah, well you can see there is green there, so the plant is not dead yet. But I've decided, lifting the weight of the pot, it is seriously heavy, and although it's dry round the edges, I believe the problem is it's soaking wet in the middle of the plant and underneath the root ball, and I suspect that the roots, let's get it back into focus, I suspect that the roots are suffering, have completely suffocated, and they're not drawing up moisture into the main plant, so they're not feeding the new branches and buds that are trying to grow. So I've decided it's going to be kill or cure. It's not something that's advised on obviously tropical evergreens, or what should be evergreens, because of the stress they suffer. But I'm going to take the plants out of the pot today and bare root it and wash all of the I think that a lot of the roots have got compacted stale mud and compost around them, and they can't breathe and they can't absorb oxygen and they can't absorb moisture. So I'm going to completely bare root the plant, and I'm going to make up a special very fibrous high draining soil. I mean, I think this is quite a high draining one I've got in here, but I'm going to go really coarse on it and use orchid bark. I'll show you the mix later. There's going to be orchid bark, citrus compost, a lot of perlite. I'm going to try and really open it up and using just a slightly moist soil, and then I'm going to cover the plant with a large polythene bag to give it its own mini greenhouse and make one last ditch effort of saving it. So a little bit I'll stop this video for now, and once I've set up I'll get on with that a little bit later and do and repot the plants. So I'll catch up with you in the next section. Thanks for watching up till now. So if you're going to try and do this and bare root a tropical fruit tree, which isn't to be recommended, you need to be prepared in advance. So I've already made up my new very free draining, light, open, aerated soil mix. Now what this comprises of is I've used 1 part cocoa fibre, 1 part composted bark, 1 part orchid potting mix, 1 part of a citrus potting mix, purpose built, and to these I've added 1 part of perlite. Now that should give me a really nice open, very light, free draining mix. So if there's any chance of saving this guava at all, that should be the one that gives me a chance. So what we're going to have a look at now is, oh, I can't believe how heavy this is. This is so heavy for the size of the pot. I'm absolutely convinced that it's a solid ball of mud in the middle, probably very dry around the outside. Oh, the other thing that's very important to have with tropical fruits is a bucket of warm water to put the roots in. Now obviously if you're going to try and save something that looks like this, a dead twig, it's going to be absolutely no use at all plunging the roots into icy cold hose water from outside. To have any chance of not shocking the roots and finishing them off, it needs to go into warm water when you get it out. So we'll just see if I can get this out of the pot quickly and have a look and see what we've got. Okay, my main concern is obviously I need to try and get all this old soil off of here. The roots don't look too bad inside. Certainly some living looking roots here, so what I'm interested to do, right, I think I know these moisture meters aren't accurate, but if I poke that into the middle, that is right over to totally saturated. So I would say that the roots have suffocated in the middle of the pot, the main roots. So what I'm going to try and do is get all of this soil off. The reason I've got that bucket of warm water is to get most of the centre soil off. I'm going to have to dip these in. To get them virtually bare root, I'm going to have to dip them into a bucket of water to wash off the stuff. It's just like a rock in the middle. I mean, this is kill or cure. I would never bare roots. It's okay with a dormant deciduous plant, but I would never bare root normally a tropical evergreen, or even any evergreen, because you're asking for the shop to kill it. But I think that in the case of this one, it's the only chance I've got of getting rid of any root rot. Right, so I'm going to plunge that into that. Take a bucket of water now. Do you know what? You're not going to see me do on camera. mirror. I'm going to see if I can get all the water out. Now if when I'm looking at this there's blatantly obviously dead rotted roots, I'll get rid of them. You can cut them away. Yeah, I'm just working on it. It's like, frankly, it's like a block of concrete in the middle. I'm going to put it back in the same pot because I think it's fine in the pot it's in. The problem I've got is obviously don't look as bad as I thought, the roots, but in places it's just it's like concrete in the middle. Got a citrus like inside as well. Hoping that by putting in more water, the shock won't be too much for the plant. See, when you've got suffocating roots and the oxygen can't get into them, they get clogged up and they can't take up moisture. They can't take up water either. Certainly the roots aren't as bad as I expected them to be. I thought they'd be a lot worse than this. But I'm hoping that some fresh compost might encourage some new growth. God. I think it's very root bound in the middle of the pot. I'm not sure that the soil it was originally growing in the nursery was an ideal compost for it, to be honest. So the roots don't seem to have been able to get out and spread out. I think they've become compacted in the middle. I'm just going to pause the video a second, then I can carry on. Okay, so now got the guava repotted in the fresh compost. I've completely rinsed the roots off twice. I've got to be honest, I expected to see a lot of root rot and a lot of serious problems in the roots, but although it was very heavy and it was quite compacted, didn't seem to be any major issues with the root ball. So that does lead me to the possibility that there's some kind of disease or dieback on the plant. Now, if that's the case, I think it's probably wise to cut it back a little bit more than I have done already. So what I'm going to do is take all these stems back another it's going to seem very drastic, but to be honest, if there's any chance at all of saving this plant, I think it needs to be taken back right to clean green wood and hope that it can revitalise itself. I'm planning to if it was to live, if it does happen to survive, it'll soon shoot out and recover from being cut right back, and I think this is the best. If in doubt, cut back hard, because it's its best chance. So what I'm going to do is give this just a gentle watering with some tepid water, and I'm actually going to enclose the plant in a large polythene bag, so that it's got its own mini greenhouse. Obviously there's no guarantee that any of this is going to work. I mean, it's not a good idea to bare root a tropical plant. I've left a fair bit of space on the top of the soil here, so that if the plant does happen to survive, I can top dress it, because obviously there is a little bit of food probably in the citrus compost I've enclosed, and obviously I've used some composted bark, so that'll have some nutrients in, but this is a fairly low nutrient compost, because my main concern was to make sure it was really aerated and gave the roots a chance to recover. So that's stage 1 in kill or cure. As I said, I've no idea if it's actually going to prove successful, but if you've got a terminal tropical plant, it's worth trying something drastic to save it. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd have a lovely heated greenhouse, and that would be the best place to put a sick plant, but as I haven't got that, all I can do is try something basic like this and see what happens. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. That's obviously my attempt to save, last ditch effort to save my guava. You're welcome to click like on the video, and if anything I've done in this gives you inspiration to have a go, I can't promise this is going to be successful, but you're welcome to like the video, and obviously you can share it if you think anyone's interested in my foolhardy efforts, and you're welcome to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And what I will do, if you click on the bell, is obviously I will give an update on this in about 6 weeks time, by which time it'll be absolutely totally stone dead, or hopefully showing some signs of recovery, in which case I'll be delighted to put it on video. But obviously just click the bell if you want us to get future updates of videos and see how I get on. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll catch up with you on my next video. Brett out for now.